Hey y'all, this is Steve. Today we're at Cave Hill Cemetery in Louisville, Kentucky. We're going to be visiting a couple of famous graves and take a little tour around the cemetery, so stand by.
Cave Hill Cemetery is a 296-acre Victorian-era cemetery and arboretum that was chartered in 1848. The property was originally known as Cave Hill Farm, then a rural property located east of Louisville. Cave Hill Cemetery is the final resting place of over 120,000 individuals, including such famous people as Colonel Harland Sanders of Kentucky Fried Chicken fame and legendary boxer and Louisville native Muhammad Ali. The property also includes Cave Hill National Cemetery, containing military graves of both Union and Confederate dead from the Civil War. Cave Hill Cemetery was added to the National Register of Historic Places in 1979, and the National Cemetery portion was added to the National Register in 1998. Let's find out how to locate graves in Cave Hill Cemetery.
If you're looking for a particular grave at Cave Hill Cemetery, you can actually find it through cavehillcemetery.com. They even have an app that you can download. But here is the Cave Hill Cemetery mobile app, or I'm assuming this is the mobile app, but in any event, this is what we pulled up on our phone. So I'm going to search for Muhammad Ali, for example. So I click search records. Okay, I got the search. So now I'm going to be putting in M-U-H, Muhammad Ali. Let's see if this works. And there it is, Mr. Muhammad Ali. So it tells me that he is in section U2-1. So, and there he is, a picture of the greatest himself, Mr. Float like a butterfly, sting like a bee. And gives you some history about who Muhammad Ali was. Muhammad Ali was originally born Cassius Clay, but after joining the Nation of Islam, he changed his name to Muhammad Ali. But you can read the whole story here on the Cave Hill Cemetery app when you pull up Muhammad Ali. So there you have it. There's the app. And today we're going to be looking for him. And let's, okay, for that matter, who else is buried there? Who else, honey?
Colonel Harland Sanders.
Yep, Mr. Kentucky Fried Chicken himself, the Colonel. So I'm going to go through here and I'm going to look him up. And I know let's try looking him up as Colonel. I'm just going to try looking him up as Colonel Sanders, assuming that I don't know his real name. Okay. Hey, there it is. Colonel Harland David Colonel Sanders. And he's in section 33570. So click. And there's the man who founded Kentucky Fried Chicken himself. So we go through, has his bio, was born in 1890, died in 1980. And even tells you when his service was. So his service was 5 days before Christmas. He died at the age of 90. It says a little bit about him. He was born in Henryville, Indiana. Talks about Kentucky Fried Chicken and some other things. And you can just read his biography right here. So here are two of the most famous people that are buried at Cave Hill Cemetery here in Louisville, Kentucky. Just a few minutes ago, we actually talked to a nice lady whose name was Mary. My wife's name's Mary also. But this nice lady actually knew where Colonel Sanders and Muhammad Ali were buried, and she even gave us a tip. When you come into the cemetery, there are apparently lines along the road that will guide you to both graves of Colonel Sanders and Muhammad Ali. The yellow line will take you apparently to Colonel Sanders, and then it supposedly turns into a white line, and you follow that white line, which somewhere becomes a green line, and that takes you to Muhammad Ali.
But before we visit those famous graves, let's check out a few additional ones.
Not too far from Colonel Sanders' grave, my wife spotted this guy. Said, he's got to be a magician. So we decided to take a look. So here we are. So the statue is for Harry Leon Collins, born April 27th, 1920, died May 3rd, 1985. I see the top hat and the cane there. I love what it says here. He comes to you with top hat donned, white gloves flash with a sleight of hand that stretches reality beyond. The twinkle in his eyes hide the secret he will never share. With awe you feel your heart's great thrill, like none you can compare. What lies in the heart of this man? Drawn to him are the children of the land. They know that love flows in abundance, for his heart and soul are reflected in his smiling glance. And now, gathered here with tears in our eyes, grief in our hearts, and stiff proper smiles, we honor this great loving man. Never again will we see the twinkle of his eye, the sleight of his hand, that drew the children of the land. Terry Lewis Flesh. Mr. Collins, I never met you, sir, but seemed like you were a great man who just brought joy to the hearts of so many people, and God rest your soul, my friend. Here's another one that kind of caught our eye. The three heads coming out of what looks like a tree. Wow. Let's get a closer look, shall we? Yep, that is the most interesting bust I've ever seen. And apparently this is the Billhart's family. Clara Armstrong Billharts. Howard James Billharts Jr., aka Bill. And Leslie Billharts Newry. Yep, I would say this is a pretty interesting marker. Well, rest in peace, Billhartses. Here's something else that we spotted as we were driving through the cemetery. Looks like a unique type of columbarium. So from the looks of things, it looks like the holes are drilled into the rocks. Put your urn in there, and then put the lid on top, and you're resting in peace inside of a rock. Well, your ashes are. And right here, it looks like, I don't know if it's occupied or if it's unmarked or it's available, but I guess if you're interested, you can call the cemetery and ask. Would be interesting to see how much these cost. So maybe you might be able to have your ashes resting inside of a rock. We saw this interesting marker. At first I thought it was a record, but it turns out it's more like perhaps a bagel. And here's the other side of it. Yep, Gerald Whitey Driscoll. He was the owner of Ehrman's Bakery. Wow. So I guess he's sort of kind of famous. Rest in peace, Whitey. Well, here we are, folks. We're at Colonel Harland Sanders' grave. Get a close-up here of the bust of Colonel Sanders. There he is, Colonel Harland Sanders and his wife Claudia. And those are the flowers that somebody told us about. And there we go. There's Colonel Harland Sanders, born near Henryville, Indiana, September 9th, 1890. Founder of Kentucky Fried Chicken Empire, finger licking good. Died in Louisville, Kentucky, December 16th, 1980. He was a Freemason, a Shriner, and a 33rd degree Mason. And buried alongside is his beloved wife, Claudia Ellen Sanders. And she was born near London, Kentucky, native Kentuckian. September 7th, 1902. Died in December 31st, 1996 in Shelbyville, Kentucky. And was truly the Colonel's lady and co-worker in his enterprises. And there you have it, Colonel Sanders' grave. Rest in peace, Colonel Sanders. Well, just as I was beginning to film this, I happened to run into several fellow Lions. These nice folks here paying their respects to Colonel Sanders are from New Hampshire. Would y'all mind saying hi real quick?
Hello.
Hey, and what's y'all's names?
Nancy.
Nancy?
Pam.
Pam?
And Alan.
And Alan. What part of New Hampshire y'all from?
Central.
Central New Hampshire.
Southwestern.
Southwestern, all right.
And we're from Cana. Like a butterfly.
Cana, all right. New Hampshire Lions in the house. Woohoo! Yeah. And right here, folks, is Patty Smith Hill. Now, who is Patty Smith Hill? Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, happy birthday. Happy birthday to you. Patty Smith Hill wrote that song. So her claim to fame is writing the happy birthday song. Thank you for the birthday song, Patty Hill. And rest in peace. Now we're at the grave of the greatest, Muhammad Ali. He floated like a butterfly. He stung like a bee. And we're here at the final resting place of Muhammad Ali. As we approached the grave, the first thing that caught my eye was this right here. Service to others is the rent you pay for your room in heaven. As a Lion, I really like that. Service to others is the rent you pay for your room in heaven. Muhammad Ali, January 17th, 1942 to June 3rd, 2016. I really like what his epitaph says. He took a few cups of love. He took 1 tablespoon of patience, 1 teaspoon of generosity, 1 pint of kindness. He took 1 quart of laughter, 1 pinch of concern, and then he mixed willingness with happiness. He added lots of faith, and he stirred it up well. Then he spread it over a span of a lifetime, and he served to each and every person he met. You flew like a butterfly, you stung like a bee, you were the greatest, and sir, may you rest in his eternal peace. Speaking of sting like a bee, right behind his grave up in this tree are Ali's bees. Now you got to be careful. You don't want to be stung by these bees. But you can see the boxing gloves on it. There's even some butterflies painted on it. And there's some bees doing their bee thing right there. That's right. If you mess with them, they'd be stinging you like bees. So, props to the bees. Ali's bees. Well, folks, we've had a pretty good tour of the cemetery today here at Cave Hill in Louisville, Kentucky. Mary, how'd you like it?
Oh, I was intrigued by all the wonderful statues and tributes to people. Just amazing.
Yeah, amazing indeed, I tell you. And we even got to meet a few lions.
That's right. That was unexpected.
Very unexpected, and got to see Colonel Sanders, Muhammad Ali, Ali's bees, and several other interesting ones. We thank you for coming along this journey with us, and until next time, peace out, y'all. This has been a Subligna Valley production from Atlanta, Georgia.